Hello, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Gadgets. Today we're gonna make some homemade pizza, and what better tool to use than the mighty Thermomix. Now this recipe is gonna call for us to grate up some fresh Parmesan cheese. We're gonna create a pesto pizza. So the crust is gonna have this pesto flavor to it. So we're gonna use fresh basil from the garden. We got some garlic here, some yeast, some pine nuts, olive oil. We got zero flour mixed in with all-purpose flour, water, and we should have a lot of fun with this. We're gonna put some special toppings on it per choice and just enjoy this pizza here. So stay with us. Let's see how it's done and let's have some fun. All right, here's our recipe we're gonna make in the Thermomix. We're gonna make the pesto pizza dough. And first thing we're gonna do is grate up some fresh Parmesan cheese. And I've already put that in there and I've already grated up. So you can see how powerful the Thermomix is at grating up the cheese. So we're gonna set this aside and move on to the next steps. Alrighty, next we're gonna add our fresh basil from the garden. See, that's added in there with the cheese. This is gonna make up that pesto. Nice, fresh, and delicious. Add some pine nuts. Already pre-measured those out. Oops, sorry, went too fast. Garlic. Said to put one in there, but I put two. You know how we are with that garlic. Gonna add some salt and olive oil. Get in there. Get it all in there. Don't be trying to stay out here with us. And we're gonna mix that all up. And I'll come back and show you what that looks like here in a second. Okay, as you can see, we put all those ingredients in there and Thermomix mixed them all up and it shredded those ingredients together. And it's nice and fresh and tasty. We're gonna set this aside and move on to the next steps. Next, we're gonna add our water and our yeast, and we're gonna let Thermomix help activate that yeast before we add our flour to mix to it. Now, you're noticing I didn't clean my bowl. You're gonna say, oh my goodness, he didn't clean his bowl. Well, of course I didn't, because we're gonna infuse some of this pesto flavor right into the dough. So hang in there with us. This is gonna be fun. So what's happening here is the Thermomix is heating up the element, heating the water up to the precise temperature necessary to activate the yeast. Now, ordinarily, you would have to put a thermostat in your water and, get the right temperature because you don't want to kill your yeast by over-activating it. But if you got this fancy tool, it'll help do that for you. How amazing is that? All right, next we're gonna add our pasta flour, type 00, an all-purpose flour. Now, I've already done that, so you can see that that's been added. And we're gonna go on to our next step. We're gonna add some of our pesto and some more salt, and we're gonna let that mix and knead together. So I'll come back and show you the kneading process here in a second. Let me add this pesto. In this next step, the Thermomix has a mode where it will knead flour into dough. So we got our pesto, our flour, and our yeast in there, and we're gonna turn this on and allow it to do the kneading process for about 3 minutes. You can see starting that process. Looky there, our dough is done. We're gonna let it sit in a bowl for about 15 minutes. And then we'll move on to the next steps. All right, our dough is all finished. You can see it's still in the bowl. We put some flour on a pizza sheet here and turn a bowl upside down, and we're gonna twist the dough out. And it's gonna come out nice and neat. When you twist it like this, you'll feel it loosen and start to come out. Perfect. The dough is coming out. Get that out. Split it into 4 equal parts and start making some pizza. Now this is the part I like when making pizza. You get to make and add any ingredients that you want. The key here is not to put too much on there. Of course it won't come out right. But we spread a little bit of the pesto sauce on the base of the pizza instead of, you know, the normal tomato paste sauce. And I added some mozzarella, some ham, some sausage, some mushrooms, and just kind of make it my own. Now I did go ahead and make one for my son. He's just a pepperoni guy. So that's what his pepperoni pizza looks really good. Now, gotta wait till that finishes and we'll start eating this up. This is turning out to be a fun little recipe for tonight. There's the finished product. Looks pretty good. I have to admit, I gotta learn how to make a round pizza. But whether it's round, square, raggedy, or what, we still eating it. Look at that. Homemade pizza dough with homemade pesto. Looks delicious.
Just tell me what to